All right. Good afternoon again. So I'm jumping on today to just talk about something that I get questioned about a lot. A lot of our live videos actually revolve around what skills do I need to become a data engineer, right? Do I need a degree? Do I need Python? Do I need a certification? Well, I'm here to tell you that while all the formal education is really nice and great and gives you some skills, what really matters is actually learning the skills and actually performing them in real world situations. So we're going to go through this. I call this the honeycomb of traits. So it's the traits that data engineers should demonstrate in order to be a great data engineer and to progress through their career. The concept of this is that at the heart of it is where you should start. You know, I've talked a lot about how you start with SQL. As any data profession, SQL has been around for 50 years. It's not going anywhere. Um, the again, it start in the center, work your way out as you move through your career, as you uh, as you learn and grow. So, again, for those of you that may be new, I've spent 25 years in the data profession, um, and I am here to distill my knowledge and my learning. And this is kind of the visual guide that I've come up with to help you become data engineers. So, this hexagon here showcases the diverse skill set required to thrive in this dynamic field. As we've talked about before, this is a ever-changing field, but these some of these core principles, especially when we look at the concepts, the soft skills, and the programming, it, those are pretty static. They haven't changed for a long time. Sometimes the software and the platforms change, with the exception of Excel. Yes, Excel is important even for a data engineer. Um, don't neglect Excel. Um, but we'll get to that. So from programming prowess, and cloud platform mastery, you know, making sure that you are incorporating soft skills like communication, collaboration, leadership. You know, the honeycomb will illustrate and illuminate that path to data engineering mastery as you move through it. So and you could find this on my website at gambledataengineering.com. You could go down and I mean, you download the images, whatever. But want to walk through. I had four people and they jumped off. Want to walk through uh, what uh, what each section is all about. And so let's start with soft skills. I think that soft skills are neglected a lot when you talk about any of the data professions, and they're so important. Um, and they will differentiate you from the rest of the crowd when you are walking to an interview and when you're in your career. They'll help you progress through your career much more quickly than any of the hard skills will. So, soft skills, teamwork, being sociable, leadership, problem solving, communication. These are skills that you need in any of the data professions, but especially in data engineering. Problem solving, being able to identify what the data is and how to get it to where it needs to be in the most efficient manner, understanding when things break down or when things are inefficient, how to solve those types of problems and think critically, and then communicate that to your stakeholders, right? To your boss, to your project manager, whatever the case may be. If you're a consultant, to your business that you're working with. So soft skills are extremely important in data engineering, whether you're an individual consultant or you're working in a corporation. Especially if you're working in a corporation, these soft skills are what will move you from an individual contributor into a senior position, into a staff position, and into leadership. Um, so again, developing strong communication skills where you could take these super complex concepts that we deal with day in and day out, break them down on a really basic level using analogies, using very layman terms, and being able to communicate to your shareholders and stakeholders what you're doing and how you're doing it. Um, so super vital for data engineers, being able to translate again those technical insights into actionable business recommendations. You know, again, effective teamwork and collaboration are essential for navigating very complex projects, delivering successful outcomes, demonstrating that your leadership qualities really help you to drive that innovation and influence decision making across your business. So, again, mastering these soft skills, data engineers will elevate your careers to become invaluable assets in your organization. So to learn more importance about the soft skills and data engineering, or if you're looking for coaching or mentorship, be sure to reach out to me. Definitely have some coaching and mentorship positions open, and I do the mentoring for free. So if you're looking for a mentor, I'm open to that as long as I have some time available. So let's move on to some of the concepts that you need as a data engineer. So, we hit the soft skills. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments as we go through this. You don't have to wait for me to stop. I'll get to them. But so this next section of the honeycomb is concepts. You know, some of the concepts that you need to understand. The light pink is kind of where you should start. The dark pink is where you kind of move to. So data warehousing, data storage, of course, are super important. Again, we're kind of working from the inside out as we're looking through the honeycomb. And so data warehousing, data modeling, data storage, super important for data engineering. Understanding and having a good foundation in those concepts will take you a long way in your career. Adding on to that, data governance and data architecture will help to really give you a little bit more breadth of knowledge and help you to be able to kind of be agile in what positions you could take on, gives you a little bit more value in the organization that you're working in, and you can kind of spread your wings a little bit. And then once you get that foundation, add on cybersecurity and then AI. Um, Cybersecurity, it becomes increasingly important with data, and especially when you're looking at CCPA and GDPR type situations where you're really needing to make sure that your private data, your PII, your uh, personal identifiable information, is secure. And you know doing that helps your business, helps the organization that you're in, and helps protect them from any potential fines or legal issues. So cybersecurity, super important there. With cybersecurity, AI kind of leads into the cybersecurity piece too. Make sure that you're not exposing any potential private information or um, or company information into AI, but learning AI and how you could use it to enhance your job, and how to make things more efficient, how to get people answers that they want answers to, and tying that all that back into data. And also, being an AI engineer is becoming a thing, right? You know, data engineers have to feed AI information. Learning AI becomes increasingly more important as we move through this AI generation that we're in. Um, so again, working from the light colors into the dark colors, mastering these data concepts effectively address the challenges of modern data-driven organizations, and also really do deliver valuable insights for businesses. Um, and again, don't skip over that emerging tech. Don't Cyber and AI are as important as to data as they are to any part of your organization. Um, so uh, really understanding those things as you move through your career will really help to increase the value that you have and that you carry with you into um, organizations when you're applying for things, as well as if you decide to do consulting later on. um, So moving on to software and platforms. Again, this is kind of that lower left-hand corner of the honeycomb. Um, you know, Understanding cloud platforms becomes increasingly more important as we continue to move on. By the end of the next couple of years, all the large to medium-sized businesses that are not currently pretty solidly in a cloud platform will likely have migrated into a cloud platform. Um, a lot of them are kind of straddling that on-prem and cloud platform um, situation, and it's because of cost, right? Cost management is important in here. In this piece, understanding how to set things up so that they are the most cost effective for your organization is part of understanding cloud platforms as a data engineer. Um, so don't neglect that piece when you're learning that. ETL tools, we use ETL tools day in, day out. Some organizations I've been in have focused on doing Python and writing, purely you could do everything in Python, put it into a Docker container, put it out on a VM somewhere and have it scheduled to run, or have triggers that kick off those Python scripts. That's a possibility. Linux is a big thing. Um, there's EC2 boxes that are sitting in AWS that you need to understand Linux and how to set things up in Linux and how to run things in Linux. Getting into Vim and getting um, sure that you're not removing a whole directory or anything when you're in Linux. So having some experience and knowledge of Linux is important as a data engineer as you progress later on through your career. Again, the darker colors here are things that as a entry level engineer you probably don't need to have, but as you continue through your career these are things that you'll likely have some type of impact on and some type of exposure to that you'll need to learn. And kind of out here to the end, I've put in Power BI or Tableau, it's some type of visualization tool, as well as predictive analytics and machine learning. And that's because it is important as a data engineer to understand and to have some type of at least conceptual knowledge of what your peers do, right? What your data analysts do, what your data scientists do. In addition, there's this concept of a analytics engineer that's kind of coming back. This is something that we used to do all the time when I was younger and in the profession. That we were the analytics person, we were the engineer, and we did everything from identifying the data sources all the way through creating the reporting and doing any type of visualization or analytics. So you know again important and again don't neglect Excel. Excel is still important to understand and learn, especially since a lot of your stakeholders that you'll be consulting with, that you'll be talking to, likely have at least started some type of foundation or concept of what they want in Excel. So understanding how Excel works and what you could do with Excel, so that if nothing else, so that you could take that and translate it into a more technical um, requirement. So moving on to the programming piece. And again, the programming piece is that top left. Um, these are the things. Again, we're starting at the center, and the center of the data engineering honeycomb is your SQL. SQL is not going away, been around for 50 years, continues to evolve with the day and time. Um, basic, intermediate, and advanced SQL are things that you'll need as a data engineer. Once you start to get your basic and intermediate SQL down, move on to Python. Once you have a foundation of SQL, Python will be that much easier to learn. Um, Understand, and then come back to advanced SQL as you start to move through the rest of the honeycomb. But you know, then from Python, move on to intermediate and advanced Python. Python is such a huge piece of what you can do as a data engineer, such a huge piece of when you're in Databricks, Snowflake, you could write Python scripts in Snowflake and have them, scheduled to run as tasks. Um, so many tools, even in Synapse, right? You can create a notebook and write a Python script in Synapse, with which is one of the Azure ETL tools. Um, in addition, here I've put in data types and APIs. So understanding not necessarily how to create an API, but how to interact with an API, whether that be with Python, whether that be with one of the ETL tools. Understand, and I put that in programming because so much of it is that program mindset of, okay, I need a key, I need a bearer token, whatever the case may be, in order to gain access to what it is. And then you have to identify which are the different types of APIs within, which are the different calls within that API that you need to get the information out of it that you need to put into your data warehouse. So, and understand with that, understanding data types. API data may come back as a CSV file. I've had it come back as that. May come back as JSON data, even may come back as a Parquet file. In some cases, especially when you're dealing with something like a technology like Zoom, the files may come back as like an MP3 or MP4 file as a recording, right? And so you'll need to learn how to store that recording data somewhere. So understanding data types and APIs really go hand in hand, because you'll need to learn how to handle those different situations. Um, and that is it. I wanted to walk through that live just in case there were any questions. Um, we did have some people jump on. So, again, if you have any questions, be sure you put them in the chat. Um, if even after the video, be sure to put it down in the comments if you have any questions about anything that we covered today. But really, that's all I wanted to jump on and cover today before I ran out. But again, reach out to me. My email is chris.gamble@, gambledataengineering.com. Let me know if you have any comments or questions or feedback. And again, you'd always put that down in the comments. But thank you so much for those of you that jumped on and joined. And I will talk to you all again Friday night.